Always, my name is Bree, and this is an all levels vinyasa class. However, today we're going to take it a little slower, a little bit more level one style with longer holds and a little deeper stretches. As you lie down on your back, find one of two shapes, either soles of the feet together, knees wide, or knees knocking in, feet wide. Find what works for you. Either bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly, or bring your arms to a cactus shape on your mat. And take a moment to fully arrive in your body. Drag the breath deep down into the pit of the belly. Maybe even close your eyes. And just notice what you're showing up with today in the physical body, but also in the busyness of the mind. Take a big inhale in. And as you exhale, let all the breath go and let your thoughts go with it. Start to really work your Ujjayi pranayama. Breathe in and out through the nose with a little constriction in the back of the throat. So the breath will sound a bit audible. Your nostrils are completely passive here. And the sound, again, is coming from the back of the throat. Use this breath as your anchor in your practice. The anchor that keeps you focused on the postures and that pulls you back to the present moment, to the here and the now. If your legs are closed, bring your hands to the outsides of the thighs, close your legs. If your legs are already closed, just heel toe your feet so your feet are about hip distance apart. Pull your knees in towards yourself and give yourself a little squeeze, a little good morning hug. Maybe rock side to side and back and forth. And then ground your feet again. Stretch your right leg to the sky and interlace your hands around your right thigh. If you're really tight in your legs, you could keep the left knee bent. But if you want more sensation through the stretch, straighten out through your left leg. Press your left thigh bone down into the earth. Engage through your leg muscles nice and strong and expand out long from the pelvis through the legs, out through the heels. Maybe create some circles through your right toes in one direction and rewinding those circles in the other direction. Bend your knee. Bring your hands to the top of the right knee. Pull it way and wide towards the armpit. Bring the right hand to the outside edge of the right foot. Pull your foot down as you press your foot up into your hand. And if your body is like, hell no, I can't do that, then just come back to holding your shin. And breathe. If you do have your foot, keep pulling the foot down towards the earth as you press your foot up into your hand for one more breath. And bend your left knee, cross your right ankle over the left knee, interlace your hands around the left thigh. Use your right elbow to widen your right thigh bone away from you. Flex your toes back towards your ankles. Deep breaths in and out. Take an inhale here. Exhale, send your figure four legs over towards the left. Ground your right foot on the ground and bring your left hand to the top of the right foot or ankle. Send your right knee towards the ceiling or energetically towards the front of the mat. Keep breathing deep, full breaths into your lungs. Engage through your obliques and inhale, pull your legs back through center, unwind through your legs. Before switching sides, just windshield wiper your knees side to side and left to right. Land with your legs through center. Straighten your left leg to the sky. Interlace your hands around your left thigh. Maybe you straighten the right leg out long. Press your left thigh into the hands and pull the thigh back. So you're working to create a nice L shape with your legs here. Create those circles through your left toes if you did so on the right side. Balancing both the left and the right. And breathe. In and out through the nose. Coming back to your Ujjayi breath again and again. Bend your left knee. Bring the hands to the top of the left knee and pull it way and wide towards your armpit. Press your right thigh bone down into the earth. Bring the left hand to the outside edge of your left foot. Pull your foot down as you press your foot up into the hand. Half happy baby shape. And as we move through these postures that take a little bit more time, notice if you can stay focused on the task at hand, on the posture, the asana. Your mind will pull you away. That's why some people say hatha yoga is much harder than vinyasa, because you're standing or seated in a pose for a longer duration of time. Use this longer duration of time in the posture to really allow yourself to completely focus on just that one thing. Bend your right knee, cross your left ankle over the right knee. Interlace your hands around your thigh. Press your left elbow into the left inner thigh for more intensity. Stay strong through your shins by flexing your toes back towards your ankles. Take an inhale and exhale. Bring your legs all the way over towards the right. Ground your left foot. Send your left knee towards the ceiling. If you're not feeling this stretch, that bottom knee, which is your right knee, has to go higher up. Think in line. Your right hip would be in line with your right knee, and maybe even higher up if your hips are really open. And breathe. Engage through your obliques. Bring those legs back through center. Unwind one more time. Windshield wiper through your knees, side to side, and back and forth. Land back through a neutral position with your legs. Make your feet hip distance apart. Pull your elbows in by your rib cage. Drive into your heels and lift your hips up for a glute bridge, just waking up those glutes. Exhale, lower your hips down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Last one, lift up. And lower it down. Pull your left knee in towards your chest. Drive into your right heel and lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. Lift. And lower. Just 3 more. Lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. Last time, lift. Squeeze that glute at the top. Tug your right heel towards the hips. And release your hips down. Lower the left foot. Pull the right knee in, interlace your hands around the right knee, drive into your left heel, lift, lower, lift, lower. Try to keep your sacrum level, lift, and lower, and lift. Lower, 3 more, pulse it out. If you're feeling the burn, just keep going. Last one, squeeze it at the top, And release. Pull the knees in. Bring your hands behind your thighs. Just create a rocking motion on your back. This is optional. And you'll rock your way up. Cross your legs. Plant your hands. Walk your knees back. Land in a tabletop. Spread wide through your fingers. Point your fingers straight ahead and pull back through the fingertips. Root down through the perimeter of your palms. Inhale, lift your sit bones up. Melt your heart, find cow spine. Pull the heart through. Exhale, press your hands and your knees into the mat, round to a deep, full cat spine. Inhale, articulating from your sit bones. Lift your sit bones high as you melt your heart, cow spine. Exhale, round cat spine. Come to a more neutral position. Create some nice barrel rolls with your hips. And then quarter turn, your fingers are going to go towards the long edge of the mat. As you keep doing your barrel rolls, your hips will kind of shift your shoulders a little side to side, stretching out through the wrists. And a quarter turn one more time. Face your fingers towards your knees, and this time just pulse your hips forward and back. The heel of the hand may lift, but keep the fingers rooted, the finger pads rooted into the mat. Reconnect your hands on your mat facing forward. Walk your knees back a touch. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up to a downward facing dog. In your down dog, make sure your feet are hip distance apart, maybe a little wider if you're tight in the backs of the legs. Spread through your fourth and fifth toes. Bend your knees a little bit. Squeeze the outer edge of your shins in and send your sit bones higher to the sky. Send the tops of your thigh bones back. Lift your shoulders up and wrap your triceps down. From the back of the heart, press down and out through your arms into the earth. From the back of the heart, stretch up and out through the hips and down and out through the heels. Inhale, spike your heels high like a wave. Come forward to a plank position. Lift your skull, pull your hands and your feet towards one another. Pull all of those organs up, 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 and in. And shift your hips up and back, down, down. Inhale again, come all the way forward towards your plank pose. Press the earth away. Keep the skull lifted. Exhale, take it back, plank pose. Last one like that. Inhale, big wave all the way forward. Press that earth away. Shift your shoulders past your wrists. An option to lower your knees. Lower all the way down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ground your hips. Press the tops of the feet down. Engage through the belly. Inhale, rise up to a cobra. This one, float your hands and use your muscles to get the lift. Focus on the lower half of the body, pressing your legs into the mat. Exhale, lower down. Ground your hands. Inhale, rise up, maybe medium cobra. Hips are still heavy. Press the tops of the feet down. Exhale, lower down. Last one, inhale, come up, maybe high cobra, hips heavy. Squeeze your shins in towards the midline. Pull your heart through. Exhale, folds. Bring your forearms to a sphinx position so your elbows are stacked underneath your shoulders. Engage through your core. Pull your right heel towards your sit bone. Reach around with your right hand to grab your foot for a thigh stretch. Press your foot into your hand as you pull the heel towards your outer hip. And breathe. There is so much power in slowing down in the practice of yoga. Slowing down gives us this opportunity to have a little more space to breathe and to be in our bodies and in the postures. Slowly release. Opposite side, pull your opposite heel in. Reach around with your hand to grab your foot. Keep your chest square towards the front of the mat. Hips are heavy. The tendency here is to lift that left hip up a little bit if your front of the thigh is tight. 2 more rounds of breath. And release your foot. Soften your chest down to the mat. Bring your arms back to a cactus shape. Walk your right hand fingertips in towards your face. Keep your left arm at a cactus. Pivot to the outside edge of your left hip. Breathe into the chest. into the front of the body. And slowly come back towards center. Second side, line up your right elbow with your right shoulder. Pivot to the outside edge of your right hip. Breathe deep, full breaths into your chest, into the front of the body. And all the way down into the pit of the belly. Come back through center. Bring your hands down. Last time, inhale, rise up, cobra pose. Shift your hips back, child's pose. Toes together, knees can be wide or hip distance. Thread the needle, weave your left arm through the right, find a little shoulder stretch. Press your right palm into the mat and tug your left arm back into space. Come all the way back to center. Weave your right arm through the left, find the shoulder stretch the other way. And breathe. So this is less of a twist and more of keeping your shoulders square to get the max benefit of the stretch in the front of your deltoid shoulder. Come back through center. Rise up through a tabletop. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up, down dog. Here we go again. Walk your feet all the way up towards the front of the mat. Make your feet as wide as your mat. Line up the outside edge of your foot with the long edge of the mat. So get in the habit of looking and seeing that the outer edge of the heel is lining up with the outer pinky toe. Bend your knees, send your hips back into space. If you have a block, counter reach your hands forward on your block. Squeeze your shins in towards the midline. Widen and broaden through your inner thighs, through the pelvis. Breathe into the back of the body. Inhale, halfway lift, glide your hands up your shins, lift your sternum, lift your heart, lift your shoulders. Exhale, fold. Inhale again, halfway lift, long spine. Send those groins back, engage through the navel. Grab your hips, press down into the earth, and rise up with a long spine. Step your feet back to hip distance apart, look down, spread your toes, point your second and third toe straight ahead, face your palms forward. Earth, sky, pranayama, press into the earth, and inhale, reach for the sky. Move just behind the breath. Exhale, release your arms by your sides. Keep the crown reaching up. Inhale, reach up as you press the feet down. Exhale, release. Two more like that. Inhale. You remember the essence of the earth as you reach for the sky. And as you exhale, remember the opportunity, the creativity, and the wonder of the sky as you descend to the earth. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Grab your right wrist, side bend up and over towards the left. Engage through the legs, unlock through your knees. Inhale, come back through center. Switch your clasp and take that side bend the other way. Inhale, back through center. Switch your clasp again. Take the side bend all the way to a forward fold. So bend the knees as you come down. Switch your clasp in the middle and come out the right side or the opposite side. And then you're going to go back down and switching the clasp, going over to the other side. As you make it all the way up, stretch your arms high. Energize even through the fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, cactus your arms open through your heart. Inhale, engage navel to spine. Reach your arms high. Exhale, twist right arm back, left arm forward. Keep your hips square, so send that right hip forward into space. Inhale, circle your hand down, come back to center. Exhale, twist, left arm back, right arm forward. This time your left hip is coming forward into space. Inhale, come back through center, reach up. Exhale, chair pose, sink your hips low. Engage through your navel. Inhale. Exhale, sink your chair a little lower, keep the weight into your heels. Two more like that, inhale. Exhale, sink. Last one, inhale. Exhale, forward, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need here. Interlace your hands behind your back, lift your shoulders up. Drop your hands over the back body. Squeeze your shins in. Widen your upper inner thighs wide and apart. Send your sit bones higher to the sky. Release your arms down. Step your left leg back. You can put a block underneath your hands if you need to. Straighten out through your right leg. Otherwise, come onto fingertips. Pull your right hip back as your left hip wraps forward. Squeeze your legs towards the midline. Feel the energy and the muscles build in the legs. From the pelvis, stretch out long through the legs, maybe long through the spine, and bow your head towards the shin. Adding a little breath, inhale, bend into your front knee, bring the back knee to a hover, come to a cow lunge. Exhale, straighten and fold, cat lunge. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Last time, inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, come down to the cow. Lower your knees, squeeze your legs towards one another, and rise up to a low lunge. Let your hips be heavy. Inhale, get length up through the spine. Grab your left wrist, side bend over to the right, bow forward. Inhale, come back through center, switch your clasp. Tuck the side bend the other way. Inhale through center. Exhale, cactus your arms, open your heart. Now, use the power of the legs. Lift your knee up to a crescent lunge. Squeeze your legs towards one another. Your feet should already be hip distance apart. Stack your front knee in line with the ankle. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Pivot the back heel down. Bring your arms parallel to the earth. Line up your front heel with the middle of the back arch. Send your back heel out into space. Straighten out through the front leg for a moment. Reach your right arm high for a little reverse triangle. Inhale. Exhale, bend into your front knee back to warrior two shape. Pull the belly up and in. Wrap your shoulders back. Breathe. And let's go prana mudra. So your pointer finger and your middle finger point out, and then the ring finger and the thumb are curled in. The ring finger and the pinky are curled in. Prana is like the refined energy of air. Inhale, flip your palm and reverse your warrior. Exhale, come to a side angle. Elbow can rest on your thigh. Reach your arm up towards the sky or your arm way in line with your ear. Wrap your right torso underneath your left and press your back thigh bone back into space. Widen your front knee towards the pinky toe. From the pelvis, stretch down and out through your left leg and long through your left side body. Press into the earth. Inhale, reverse triangle. Straighten out through your front knee. Coming back through warrior two, pivot your toes in. Hinge at your hips. Find a wide-legged stance. In your wide-legged stance, counter stretch your hips back so all the weight is in your heels, and crawl your fingertips forward. You can use a block if you need it. Tug your left big toe towards your right inner heel and your right big toe towards the left inner heel. Keep a little micro bend in the knees, so not too much of a bend, but enough so you're not hyperextending here. Breathe a deep full breath into the back of the lungs. And on your exhale, softly pull navel in towards spine. All right, bring both hands towards the front of the mat. Spin both feet towards the front of the mat. Lower your back knee down and point your right toes off on a diagonal. Use your right hand to widen your right thigh bone away from you. Isometrically drag your front heel back and your back knee forward. You could stay here. You could lower your forearms down onto a block. This shape here is kind of similar to the half happy baby we took when we started. If you want more depth, you can practice backing your back knee back into space. And the invitation is to come to twisted monkey. You'll pull your back heel towards your sit bone, reaching around with your right hand to grab your foot. Pull both of your shoulders back and lean back into space. Begin to release your foot. Shift your hips back to a half split. Point your toes straight up towards the ceiling. You can have a block underneath your hands, especially if the backs of your legs are tighter. Give yourself a little more length for the spine. Drive your right heel down into the mat and tug back. Spread through your pinky toe and your ring finger toe. Begin to bend into your front knee. Plant your hands, lift off the back knee and step back to your plank position. Press the earth away. Shift your shoulders past your wrists. Lower your knees, half push up, elbows in by the rib cage. Lower your hips, pull the shoulders back. Press the tops of the feet down, cobra pose. Take it back, child's pose. Toes together, knees wide, forehead to the mat. Join your hands at a prayer above skull. Bend your elbows and bring the prayer behind your skull. Press the elbow tips into the mat to send your hips onto your heels. And breathe. Coming back to your Ujjayi breath again and again, practicing the return. Extend out through your arms, rise up through a tabletop, tuck your toes, and lift your hips up to a downward facing dog. From this down dog, walk your way all the way up to the front of the mat, make your feet wide, and sink your hips low to a malasana squat. The hips will still have a little lift in them. Your spine is nice and long. Engage through your glutes. Inhale, reach your right arm high, cactus arms. Left arm is pressing into the left inner thigh. Inhale back through center. Exhale, reach your left arm high and cactus. Come back through center. Bring your hands down. Send your hips high. Heels go in, toes come out. Functional forward fold. Refresh your alignment here to just kind of repattern it. Bend your knees a little bit and send your hips way back behind your heels. Counter reach your fingertips forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Grab your hips, press down into the earth and rise up through center. Step your feet back to hip distance apart. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, sink your hips low to a chair pose. Inhale, pull your right knee in towards your chest, find some stability. Exhale, cross your right ankle over the left knee. Now, we all have different range of motions in our hips. So if you're not feeling much of a stretch here and you want more, you can play with coming down to the earth. If you'd like to twist, you can hook your right elbow on the bottom of the right foot. If you would like to go even deeper, we can go to standing hidolasana, baby cradle. You'll bring your elbow pits to your knee and your foot and interlace your hands and stand up. Now again, this is just optional. It's essentially standing pigeon pose. You gotta flex the pinky toe side of your foot back so that you're nice and strong through the outer edge of the shin. If you did come all the way up, lower the foot down, pull the knee in towards your chest, find your stability, and release, mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, sink it low, chair pose. Pull the right knee in, cross your right ankle over your left knee. If you're standing in your figure four, send your hips back into space and the chest forward. Maybe you bring your hands down onto the earth or to blocks. Maybe you twist, and I'll just go over this one more time. So interlacing the hands, the left elbow pit goes to the knee and the right elbow pit goes to the foot. You gotta stand down through the power of the muscles in the leg to lift up. Really work your balance here wherever you're at. If you lift it up, lower the foot down. Come back through center, pull the knee in, and release. One more flow to go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. And exhale, fold, step your right leg back, straighten out through your left knee any amount. pull that left hip back as the right hip wraps forward. And stay engaged through the left side of your body. From the pelvis, stretch out long through the spine and bow the head more towards the shin. Inhale, bend into your front knee. Bring your back knee to a hover. Pull the heart through, cow lunge. Exhale, straighten and fold, cat lunge. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, straighten and fold, cat lunge. Last one, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. This time as you come through to your cow, lower your back knee down. Press into the earth and rise up, Anjaneyasana. Sink your pelvis down. Squeeze your inner thighs towards the midline for stability and anchoring of the pelvis. Inhale, lengthen up through the side body, throughout the crown. Grab your right wrist and side bend over towards the left. Inhale, come back through center. Switch your clasp and side bend the other way. Inhale through center. Exhale, cactus your arms back. Lift your heart. Inhale, engage navel to spine. Reach your arms high and lift off the back knee really strong to land in your crescent lunge. Squeeze the legs towards one another. We're only here for a moment. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Pivot the back heel down. Bring your arms parallel to the earth. Take a moment to get situated. Send your back heel out just a touch. Squeeze your legs towards one another. From the pelvis, stretch out and long through your legs, tall through your spine, long through your arms. Come back to Prana Mudra. Pointer finger and middle finger are pointing straight ahead. Squeeze your left glute nice and strong. Inhale, flip your palm and reverse your warrior. Lean back. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale again, reverse. Option to straighten your front leg if it needs a break ever in the warrior series. And come back to warrior two. Last time, inhale, reverse. Exhale to a side angle. Elbow can rest on the thigh, or you can bring your arm way in line with your ear. From the pelvis, stretch out through the legs, long through your spine. Press down into the earth. Inhale and reverse triangle. Straighten out through the front knee. Exhale, come through warrior two. Inhale, pivot your toes in. Come to a wide-legged stance. Starlight. Hinge at your hips. Bring your hands way forward. Send your hips back into space as you counter-reach your hands forward. Back to that functional forward fold in the wider version. Tug your left big toe towards your right inner heel. And your right big toe towards the left inner heel, finding your inner anchor. Walk your hands over towards the right. Bend into your left knee. Walk your left hand fingertips a little farther than the right until you feel a stretch in the whole kind of armpit side body region. Start to come all the way back through center. Walk your hands the other way. Bend into your right knee. Walk your right hand fingertips a little farther than the left. Come all the way back through center. Bring both hands towards the front of the mat. Spin both feet towards the front of the mat. Make your feet a little wider if they're too narrow. Lower your back knee down. Point your left toes off on a diagonal. Use your left hand to widen your thigh bone away from you. Isometrically drive your front heel back and your back knee forward to hug the midline. And again, you can come down onto your forearms here, onto a block, or right into twisted monkey. Pull the back heel towards your sit bone. If you are going into twisted monkey, reach around with your hand to grab your foot. begin to release your foot. Shift your hips back to your half split. Point your toes up. Place a block underneath your hands, especially if the backs of the legs are tighter, to get length through the spine. So avoid any rounding or hunching through the spine and send the hips back. Spread through your toes. Bend into your front knee, plant your hands, and step back, down dog. From your down dog, flow through a vinyasa. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, half push up. Inhale, pull the heart through upward facing dog. Take it back, downward facing dog. From here, we'll take a little dolphin pose. Grab a block, lower your forearms down, and place your hands on the block to keep your hands from going in. Walk your feet in a little bit. You can bring your feet wider, especially if your legs are tighter. You can also bend the knees. Now press your forearms into the mat really strong. Breathe here. I know it's hard, just for a couple more breaths. Don't let your shoulders pass the elbows. Press your shoulder blades onto the back of the ribs. And lower your knees down. Shift your hips back, child's pose, forehead to the mat. Maybe in this child's pose, you'll bring your hands all the way back to grab for your heels. Begin to slowly make your way up to a seat. Send your hips off onto one side and stretch your legs out long on your mat. Pull your toes back towards your ankles. Get strong through the legs. If you are a little more tight in the backs of the legs, bending the knees may just be what you do here, and you practice flexing the toes back. Also, sitting up on a block will give you a little more height. If you feel like you're rounding, pull the flesh of the butt back by grabbing the glute and the hamstring on both sides. If you are more open, hinge at your hips. At the hips until you can't hinge anymore, and just notice how far you can hinge. And once you've hit your max point, then at that point you fold. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Slowly rise up. Cross your left leg over the right. Option to pull your right heel in towards your sit bone. And so now we'll twist. Squeeze your thigh towards your chest with your right arm. Inhale, reach your left arm high. And exhale, twist. Bring your left arm to the earth behind you. Shift your gaze past your left shoulder. Take a deep breath in and breathe deep and full into your right lung. And exhale, twist. Now you can bring your arm to the outside edge of your left thigh if that's interesting to you. You can also half bind and bring your left arm to around to the right hip. Inhale, start to unwind outside of Matsyendrasana. Counter twist. And unwind completely, straighten out through your legs. Excuse me. Woo! All right. Bend your left leg, bend your left leg and cross it over the right, and then pull your right heel towards your sit bone. Oh no, that would be going the same way. Sorry, that sneeze really threw me off guard. Bend your right knee, cross it over the left, and pull your right heel towards your sit bone. Use your left arm to squeeze your thigh in towards your chest. Inhale, reach your right arm high. And exhale, twist. Bring your hand down. Lift your skull. Pull your shoulders back. You can bring the outer arm to the outer thigh. And then shift your gaze beyond your shoulder. Look through your left eye. Breathe more fully into the left lung. Keep the fullness of the twist as you unwind and counter twist. Come all the way back through center. Bend your knees, ground the soles of the feet. Reverse tabletop, face your fingertips towards your hips. Pull your shoulders back, so like squeeze your shoulder blades in towards one another. Have a nice proud chest. Drive into your heels and lift your hips up for a reverse tabletop. Keep that nice firm grip on the ground with your finger pads. Keep engagement through your glutes. You can stay here, or maybe you lift one leg up. And back through center. Maybe you lift another leg up. And back through center. Lower your hips down. Lift up just enough so that you can stretch your arms out. And start to roll vertebra by vertebra all the way down to your back. Resist your shoulder blades from touching the ground right away. So you're trying to really inch it all the way down. And if it pulls you, that's okay too. Release once you feel those tips of the shoulder blades come down. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Bring your knees way wide towards the armpits. Bring your hands to the outside edges of your feet or your ankles. Pull your feet down as you press your feet up into your hands. Happy baby pose. Ground the sacrum towards the earth. And work to pull the small of your back in. Stay here, or you can straighten through one or both legs. Pull your legs back in. Wrap your forearms around your shins. Give yourself a little squeeze. Take an inhale. Maybe you lift your head off the mat, bowing your head towards your knees. Exhale, stretch your legs out long and your arms by your sides for a resting shape, Shavasana. As you land in your Shavasana shape, let go of breath and you're holding in your lungs, HA. Inhale fully through your nose. And exhale completely through the mouth. Let it go. Drop your tongue down from the roof of the mouth. Relax through your jaw. Soften through the features on your face. Pull the shoulders a little farther back if they feel forward. And take this time to rest and assimilate your practice on your mat today. Shavasana.